Welcome back to Ta-da! 3D printing. Okay, so because I am building the MMU3 kit from scratch, I can jump from chapter 1 to chapter 4. I assume that the other chapters are if you are upgrading. It looks like from the MMU2S to the MMU3, there's additional chapters for that. So we can skip to chapter 4, idler body assembly. It says that it is going to be difficult, 18 steps. Okay, so we're going to need tools. And lots of tools. Then I need to find the MMU3 idler and figure out which version it is. I assume we're going to be looking in here. Okay. Idler selector MMU chapter. But I'm not seeing the idler listed. Fasteners, I'm sure I'll need right away. Okay, so of course if you're printing this yourself, you would be using the printed one. This one is the idler selector MMU, plastic parts. Looks like the idler is in here. I have the correct version of the MMU3 idler. It's got these 3 little bumps here. And you can see the 3 little bumps here. It doesn't have that extra protrusion. The other one, it's an orange one. Of course, it probably could be black as well. But that one, it looks like they're saying is a obsolete version. So, okay, because the other one is the MMU2S upgrade. You would be upgrading. So yeah, of course, this is going to be what I need. Okay, I've got that ready. Move some of these other things out of my way. Okay, step 3, idler parts preparation. I need the idler, 6 bearings, 5 shafts. You need 6 bearings, but only 5 shafts. Okay, let's see if that's in fasteners. No, okay, so it looks like it's probably going to be here in the idler selector. We've got our bearings and the shaft. Okay, so it looks like in this bag there are more than enough bearings. And the little metal shafts look like this. Step 4, idler bearings assembly. Warning, read the instructions carefully. You have to assemble bearings in the correct order, otherwise you will encounter problems later. Insert one of the bearings into the middle slot in the idler. Insert the shaft from the side as seen in the picture. Make sure you are inserting it from the correct side and into the correct opening. Okay, so from the picture, it looks like it's the one with the less holes, the 3 holes here. So I have it facing this direction, and I need to put it in the middle here. Insert one of the bearings here. And then install the shaft on this top part here. Okay. Make sure it's all the way in using one of the Allen keys. Okay, so let's get the Allen keys out. It did feel like it went a little bit more. Oh yeah, you can see it a little bit right there too. Okay, let me see if it'll go any more. Oh yeah, it will. Okay, I think that's as far as it'll go. It looks like you can just barely see a little bit of silver still. Right there. Okay, next, the next one is gonna go in here. And I guess we put the bearing and the shaft. Yep, same thing. It's gonna be this one. And then the third one we'll do here. And insert the shaft there. Okay, it looks like they're all moving and not bumping each other. Okay, step 5, turn the idler around to continue with the bearing assembly from the other side. Insert a bearing and then a shaft into the empty slot closer to the center of the idler. So this one is the one we're going for. And it's the middle one. And then the last one. Yeah, that looks right. Okay, there we go. Make sure they can all move freely. Step 6, idler center bearing assembly. Take the remaining bearing and push it into the opening on the side of the idler. Make sure that it's flush, aligned with the surface. So it's this side. Yeah, looks as good as it's gonna look. Okay, step 7. Get some more parts out. We need the coupler, which is going to be in this bag. And screws, so I guess we're going to be breaking into the fastener bag finally. It's a whole lot less over here than the Mark IV kit that I just did. M3 by 10 and M4 by 5. Okay, so the M4 by 5, we have one spare. These are the only time we're using these. And the M3 by 10, we need 4. And I like that we have a reclosable bag. Step 8, using the 2mm Allen key. Oh gosh, I do not know which one's which. Let's see. Okay, so we have a cheat sheet of the items, the fasteners, but not a cheat sheet of, I guess we'll just see which one works. Because okay, we've got the thin ones, the not so thin ones, and then the even thicker ones. Looks like it's this one. Okay, we'll try that out. Using the 2mm Allen key, install the M4 grub screws into the threaded openings on the sides of the coupler. Just start the thread so that the grub screw holds in. Make sure none of the 2 grub screws is protruding into the opening in the center. Otherwise, the coupler will be hard to slide onto the motor shaft later on. Okay. So we put them here. Just hand tighten it. All right, I guess that's enough for now. Yeah, it just says start it. I don't know why I even needed the Allen key yet, but maybe I will for this one. Okay, yeah, that is a lot easier because it just slips on. And making sure that there's nothing protruding in the middle. And we'll probably tighten them later, I would imagine. Step 9, before we install the coupler onto the idler, take a look at both parts. There are 4 screw openings that must be lined up. Okay, so here, that's what they're talking about. Orient the coupler so that the 2 grub screws are oriented. Say that a couple times. Orient the coupler so that the 2 grub screws are oriented exactly as in the picture. So I need the side that does not have the bearing. We want the screws to be a diagonal, and we want to go like this. Line them up like that. Double, triple, quadruple check. Yes, it looks like my part number on the bottom is good. That looks correct to me. Okay, all 4 of those, and for some reason I had gotten an extra screw that I do not need. So I'll set that over. Okay, looks good. Step 10, final check. Before you proceed, check the following. All M3 by 10 screws are tightened. Let's make sure. Okay. The grub screws are oriented properly and are not protruding into the center. No, this one's out a little bit more, but neither one is protruding into the center. Maybe I'll tighten. And we need to make sure that we have the diagonal facing this way with the grub screws. All 5 bearings are able to rotate. The 6th bearing is flush with the surface. Yeah, I think everything looks good. Step 11, idler body parts preparation. We need to get the idler motor, the smallest one, shortest one. Okay, so in here, going for the shortest one, so it is this one. Okay, idler body. It's going to be in here if you have printed parts from the company. M3 by 10 screws, this time we have 5. M3 and S nuts. Those are the square ones. Just one of those. Silicone stopper is in here, and we only need 1 of them. Oh, okay. It was in the bag that was in the bag. That makes sense. It's in here. I was looking for something clear for some reason, but it's black. Okay. And one more metal shaft, which is back in the same bag, the little bag. Oh, and this does say idler on it. Okay. Step 12, silicone stopper installation. Orient the idler body as seen in the picture. I'm gonna put the longer things towards the back. Okay. And then we're going to insert the little black silicone stopper into this spot right here. Mine does not want to go in. So that I can use an Allen key, of course, to clean it out a little bit. Okay, I feel like I finally got it. Step 13, insert the idler into the idler body. Correct orientation is important. Make sure the bearing is pointing to the top. Make sure the middle bearing is pointing to the top. Okay, so I've got this. And it looks like we're gonna have the metal side on this side. Middle pointing to the top, I would say so. Make sure the metal coupler is pointing to the large opening in the idler body. Yes, got that. Push the idler to the left so that there is as small a gap as possible. Okay, because yeah, there's definitely a little bit of movement going on here. So push it all the way to the left. And then step 14, hold the idler in place with your hand and keep pushing it to the left side. Insert the 5x16 shaft into the opening on the left side of the idler body and push it in all the way through. The shaft must engage in the bearing in the idler. Okay, the 5x16 shaft into the opening. Okay. So from here, we're going to put the shaft in. Still keep it, okay. Okay, it needs to go into the bearing is the issue. Here we go. So you can see there, it keeps kind of pushing it out. I feel like I need to lift it just a little bit. Yeah, it seemed like I had to just kind of get the bearing up a little bit more in order to slip that in. Let me make sure it's all the way in as far as it'll go. Yeah, I mean, you can even see now it's pushed so far through. Okay. Yeah, it keeps wanting to slide it out. So I guess that's as far in as it'll go. Lock the shaft in place by attaching an M3x10 screw in the marked position. Tighten it up. I'm going to switch up to my little skill drill. Make sure. It looks like it's still still moves from side to side. I don't really feel like it's tightening anything down. I guess it's just helping nothing slide back out. Step 15. This will be easy. Insert the M3NS nut into the marked opening on the idler body. Using the 1.5 millimeter Allen key, push the nut all the way in. Okay, so let me see if it doesn't look like it's quite all the way in. Maybe a smaller one. Okay, now it looks good. You might start hearing some popping noises from my shed. When it gets hot outside, it likes to start popping like that. The metal is just shifting around. Okay, step 16, idler motor assembly. Before we add the motor to the assembly, we need to align the motor shaft and the idler coupler. Notice there's a flat part on the motor shaft. Okay, yeah, it's right here. Orient the motor as seen in the picture so that the flat part of the shaft and the cable are pointing up. Okay, so I'm going to go this way. Yep, that looks good. Before you start installing the motor, the flat part of the motor shaft must be aligned with one of the two grub screws in the metal coupler. Orient the coupler so that one of the grub screws is pointing up. Okay, I guess they're saying because I can still shift this a little bit. So I want the grub screw to be facing up. And then insert the motor shaft into the metal coupler on the idler. Push the motor towards the idler body until flush. It kind of shows it being set down. So I've got the flat part up. I set it like this. Until flush. Does not seem like it wants to be flush for me. If my little screw on this side is just a hair too far in. Which one was it? This one. Seems like the picture shows it this direction. Okay, yeah, that made it much easier. And yeah, slipped all the way in. Okay. There's still a little give here. Okay. Step 17, insert two M3x10 screws into the marked openings. Start the thread so that the screws engage into the motor. Don't tighten them up all the way yet. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be putting them in here. Help if I didn't throw these around so much. And just make sure, I hate these little hooks on the end of these keys, but I feel like it's too tight. Yeah, it's too tight to get in there. That feels like it's at least caught on that side. And it's caught on that side. Okay, I guess that's enough for now. Turn the unit around. From the opposite side, add another 2 M3x10 screws into the opening, push them towards the motor. Using the ball end of the Allen key at an angle, tighten them fully. So they're gonna go in there. Okay. I would say we're tightened down fully. And now we tighten these two. Okay. Looks good. Pull the idler to the side all the way away from the motor. There should be just a very small gap on the left side. Okay, right, it needs to go all the way that way. And a substantial gap could cause the MMU to experience difficulties with filament loading, unloading, as the idler bearings might not align correctly with the filaments. Make sure the grub screw in the metal coupler is still aligned to the flat part of the motor shaft, and then tighten it up fully. Tighten the grub screw fully. Okay, it just doesn't seem like it went in that much, but I guess there just wasn't much play. Now it says to turn it over and do the other side. And again, there's like not much. So yeah, if you're having troubles getting the motor in, that's because those are just a hair out into the space. Let me see how this other side looks. Yeah, I think that's as tight as it's gonna go on the left. Cool. Okay, that's all for this chapter. We've got everything figured out on the idler body. Let me know your thoughts if you had issues on any of these steps or if you think I missed anything. Now we can move on to chapter 5, the selector assembly. Thanks for watching.